Hi everyone, it's Theresa here of Black & Design, and welcome back to the Bermuda project. This is a honeymoon album about our trip to Bermuda in 2012, and I'm sharing this layout working with the Sahlin Studio Project Mouse Paradise collection. Of course, it includes journal cards, elements, and pattern papers. There's also a word art kit, although I did not use that kit. So I thought I would begin on my desktop, and I have opened up a 9x12 canvas. The album size itself is 9x12. And so I've opened up a 9x12 canvas, and I've pulled in one of the pattern papers that is included in the collection. And then I have a black and white polka dot card on there that stands for my photo. My photo is in my archive, and so I didn't want to pull it in, and I already have it printed out at 4x6. So I'm just using a polka dot card to to signify sort of where it's going, and I just want to plan out my layout here. And I think what I want to do is put my photo on the lower left hand side of the layout and do a title across the lower portion of the layout, and then do these florals around the title. And the title I'm going to do with physical product. And so my plan here is just to lay out what I want to do and then print out my elements and cut them out. And then I'll share with you on my worktop my creative process once I have everything printed out. So I'm also going to repeat some of the floral elements at the top left hand corner. And this is like a really simple, really basic kind of plan here. I'm not being exact or precise, just getting a feel for how many of the elements I want to print out. And once I have that sort of figured out, I'm going to increase my canvas size here to a 13x19. I print at home on a Canon Pixma wide format, and I use 13x19 Staples brand photo paper. It's matte, it prints up beautifully, and this shows the full 13x19 sheet. Now, in order to conserve ink, and this is what I love about the hybrid process, is that I can well, first let me print and cut my floral elements. And so I have opened up my Silhouette software here, and I've placed the floral elements that I know I want to cut. And in the Trace tab, I'm going to select the whole area to trace, and I've turned off the high pass filter and then created the trace around the elements. And once I do that, I send it to the printer. Make sure you have the registration marks showing so they will print. And then once that's printed, I will cut it in the Silhouette itself. And so I'm just sort of walking through the print process here. I want it on an 8.5x11 inch paper. And again, I'm just using a Staples brand or HP brand matte photo paper. It seems to do pretty well in printing these digital elements. So now I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to just size a 9x12 rectangle here underneath that pattern paper. This is what I love about hybrid scrapbooking, is that I can print only what I need and I can conserve ink. And so I'm going to just create a clipping mask here so that will only print 9x12. And once I have that ready to go, I'm just going to send it through my Canon, and then we'll switch over to my desktop and we'll put the layout together. Okay, and so I have some of the other elements and the journaling cards printed out, and I also have an Amy Tangerine foam title that I want to use here. And so you can see the elements printed out and cut using my silhouette and my photo that I already had printed here. And I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that down. This is an anchor. It was a really kind of life-size anchor statue kind of thing in Hamilton in Bermuda. And so that is my focal point here. And then I have two other photos from the town of, or city of Hamilton as well. And I'm going to do a 9x12 pocket page on the right hand side. So just have a few things laid out here. There's this little brown border that's one of the elements in the Paradise kit. And so that's going to be kind of a home base for my title. And then I'm going to just kind of loosely arrange these floral elements around the title. And you guys, I was so excited when I printed these out. They're named chipboard pieces, so they are designed to look like chipboard. And they really do. They really have an amazing depth. And once they're cut out, they're just gorgeous. You're going to really want to do this. So if you don't have this collection, go get it, because you're going to want to do this with your own layout. And I'm just doing a couple below the title. There's 4 below the title, and then 3 above the title, and 1 in each cluster is popped up with pop dots. And you'll be able to see at the end, and you'll be able to see on the Sahlin Studio blog how those look, how dimensional those look. They really are beautiful. I curled up the edges a little bit as well, just to add a little bit more texture here. And so, of course, I want to do a little bit of stamping. So I have this travel stamp set. It's from Studio Calico. It's designed by One Little Bird. And it's one of my favorites that I use often. And so I'm going to just stamp this word destination here. I also have a label from the kit that I want to add in this cluster. But first I'm going to do a little tiny bit more stamping here. And I know I want something at the top of the photo as well. And something in this little corner here. And then there's also this great little camera icon. And so I added that to each sentiment. And that makes me really happy. And so then I'm just adhering these little floral embellishments at the top here. And I want to add a stamped sentiment there as well. And so I sort of go through a little bit of a process here, because I thought, well, I'll add it on white. I'll put it on white cardstock. That didn't look right. Maybe a label. That just didn't feel right. And then I sort of vanished off of the frame. And then I had this craft tag. And so I just kind of snipped off the bottom of it. I was going to use the rest of the craft tag on the right-hand side of the layout, and it ended up not working out. So that's okay. That gets the little top of the photo or the top of the layout a little bit better, a little bit closer to what I'm wanting here. And then I want to do just a tiny bit of journaling. There's a little chipboard arrow there that I'm going to adhere down. I have no idea what that's from. It's from my stash. Just a little chipboard word sentiment. Now, these puffy stickers are from the Oasis collection from Crate Paper. And I just used some of the leaves and one of the geotags. And I really like this little label here. I'm going to stamp Wander onto this label. That label is from the Paradise collection. And then the chipboard hearts, they were also in my stash. And this little chipboard together is from Gossamer Blue. It's from an older collection, and then I'm also going to stamp. There's one of the stamps says north, south, east, and west, which is really kind of cool. And then, so I have to tell you guys, while I'm writing the journaling, I have to tell you guys this story. And so what happened was, the day that we went to the town of Hamilton, or city, I can't remember which it's classified as, but the day we went there, we were going to go to Hamilton and hop on the ferry and go across to swim with the dolphins, I believe. And I, of course, had discovered that I forgot the camera charger at home. And I was really worried about the battery life of my camera for the trip. And so we found a camera shop, and we found a replacement charger for the camera battery, and bought the charger, and we were going back to the ferry, and I realized that the SD card wasn't in the camera. And so we had to go back to the camera store, and it turns out they had taken it out of the camera for some unknown reason and had kept it. And so we got it back, and we ran back and made it to the ferry. And it was just one of those stories that we were like, whew. And, you know, me as a photographer and a scrapbooker, that would have just been the end of the world. So we spent this tremendous fortune on this battery charger, but it was worth every penny. And I'm glad that the SD card was rescued, and that we have this great story to tell. One more little thing that I'm going to add here is this little rose gold washi tape. It's also from Crepe Paper from the Here and There collection. And then with that, the layout is complete, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun creating this, and definitely love sharing my process with you. I will see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.